browser games on the Steam Deck. Last time I spoke about putting fan games on here, and I said not much people talk about putting fan games on here. Well, absolutely nobody talks about putting browser games on here, and sure, you could just load a web browser on this and play through there, but the nice thing about setting it up like this is, for one, you have shortcuts to the games you want to play, and two, you can set individual controls for each game, so you don't have to change your controls in the web browser every time you switch games. These 5 games are all from Newgrounds. These specific titles were made by CubePunks. You should go check them out. But you can add games from any website, and I'll show you how to do that.
Before we begin, you'll need to have the Heroic Games Launcher installed on your Steam Deck. If you have a Steam Deck, you've probably already done this, but if you don't have it, I'm not going to teach you, but it's really easy to do. So we boot up Heroic Games Launcher, then we click on Add Game, and where it says Windows, we click on Browser. Now we're going to type in the link. So I'm going to add a Newgrounds game called Dad and Me. So I'll go with www. Once that's done, we're going to go to title. Now, whatever title you put in, Heroic will try to find artwork based on that title from Steam Grid DB. And most games are not going to have box art, but funnily enough, someone actually added Dad and Me box art to Steam Grid DB. So I put in my title, I click somewhere else, and it adds box art. Now, if the box art is wrong, or you don't have any box, or you don't want any box art, you can just click on this, highlight it, and then just backspace. Although I'm not going to do that because this is the box art for the game. And the final thing we need to do is click on Launch Full Screen. I've only tested Newgrounds games so far, but all the games I've tested, if you don't have this checked, it boots up in a little 4x3 window, which we don't want. So now that we have the game in Heroic, we click on the game, we click on these 3 little dots, and we click on Add to Steam. After that, we're going to quit, and the game will not show up just yet. What we need to do now is restart the Steam Deck. So I'm just gonna do that real quick. Once the Steam Deck is done restarting, you should see the newly added web browser game right on your homepage. Before we play the game, you'll have to figure out if it's a game that does have controller support or not. Some games like Scarab's Reign do, but Dad and Me is an older game and does not. So because of that, I have to go in here and change the controls. I've already gone ahead and done that, so you don't need to watch me do that. But once you have the controls set, you can click the play button, and then we'll click on this play button. And in case you're wondering, I did on earlier tests log in and then just quit, and it seems it does not save your login. So that could be a good thing or an annoying thing depending on how you feel. So now I will click on start. And look at that. I'm playing the game right here. And as I mentioned before, the nice thing about having all of these separate is the controls you can set as different controls. So for here, this game, I just have the default controls on. It does not have the same controls as Dad and Me because it's not using just the web browser. They're technically separate applications on Steam. which is pretty cool. I know browser games aren't really what people get a Steam Deck for, but it's nice to know that there's a way to have my little collection of browser games on here that I can just boot up and play right away if I really want to. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. And I hope you have a good rest of your day or night.